guys, and welcome to this video on the new moon in Aries that happens on the 12th of April 2021 at 2:30 in the morning, and that's based on UK time. So if you're in North America or South America, this is going to happen late in the evening on the 11th of April, so just bear that in mind. I'm going to give you a rundown of what is going on. You can see the chart next to me, and I'm going to have a look at what the planets are doing and how you can use this energy to your advantage. It's a really nice, wonderful, positive, empowering energy, this, and it's very straightforward in a sense because a lot of the energies line up very nicely and they come together to create something super powerful for you. First of all, just on a fundamental basic level, a new moon is when the sun and the moon sit together, so they conjunct each other. The moon is pitch black, it recharges its batteries and it pulls a lot of the energy from the sun in to kind of get going for the next cycle. And the energy it's pulling in this case is Aries at 22 degrees, and that's really nice and powerful. 22 is the master number of the builder in numerology, so you're able to create something that's really meaningful and long-term and permanent, and that creates something that you're proud of. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's represented by the ram, and it's very much about taking charge, saying, I decide what I want to do, I have the strength and the time to do it, and if I want to get something done, I will do it for myself. And that doesn't come from a place of, oh, no one else supports me and I have to do everything. It's not like that. It's, I genuinely am excited by this. I have the presence of mind and the energy to devote myself to this, and it's a pleasure to move forward and to move obstacles out of my way and to move ahead in my life. So it's a very can-do attitude. No obstacle is too difficult. No hardship is going to prevent you from moving ahead. It really places the onus and responsibility on you in the sense of, I can and I want to, and therefore I will. So that's why I'm saying it's really straightforward, because it's very much about setting a goal, and simply setting a goal because you want to achieve it, not because someone else has told you this is what you ought to do, or because you feel a sense of duty or obligation. This is about you, how you feel, and what you want to achieve in your life. So just a bit of astrology jargon here. First of all, the modes on in this chart are all in the cardinal placement. Cardinal is very similar to Aries. It's about being a pioneer, getting things done yourself, and really looking at what you can do to control a situation. Again, it puts the onus on you and says, if you want to get something done, not only can you do it, but you have the power to do it easily and to have fun in the process. The strongest element on the day is fire, and fire is a masculine element. In astrology, everything is symbolic, right? So masculinity is associated with the master number of the builder, 22, so it's very much aligned with it. Aries is a fire sign as well, so very happy. But fire is seen as your life purpose, your passion, what gives you a sense of enthusiasm and drive, what you want to be doing, whether it's difficult or not, and what really lights you up and makes you feel like you've done something that you can be proud of and that's meaningful to you. And there's also kind of cleansing. That's what I'm just hearing as I'm speaking, that fire can burn things away and transform them and really liberate you. And not only is it cleansing, but it's enjoyable and positive. So we've got a couple of planets flanking the new moon. First of all, we've got Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, at 26 degrees in Aries. So it's 4 degrees away from this new moon. 4 in itself is structure and stability. And that's very much aligned with 22, not only because 22 add up to 4, but 4 in the tarot is like the emperor. It's like, if I work at something, I can create something solid that will give me a place to feel comfortable and where I can kind of revel in my own achievements and take pride in my accomplishments. But it also means that if you allow this inner sense of beauty and passion to ooze out of you in a way, you're likely to build something that's going to be long-term in your life. So this is a new moon that can really galvanize you into action, and it allows you to take your power back and to say, it doesn't matter how hard a particular thing is. If it motivates me, if I want it, it's mine. It's as simple as that. It's really, Aries doesn't torture itself with self-doubt and maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Is this right? Is this not right? It just says, this is what I want, this is what I'm going for. So with that said, you can do yourself a little bit of a favor here by playing the tape forward a few steps and saying, if I take certain actions, what are the likely consequences of those actions? Because the chart does not support that kind of thinking, and you can insert that yourself by using your experience and your ability to kind of look ahead and what is likely to happen, and to say, am I actually going to do something which is going to have a positive outcome, or is this going to cause more problems for myself? So yes, set goals, do what you want, have fun, build something that's meaningful to you, but look ahead and do yourself a favor in that sense and say, is this going to cause more problems in my life, or is it going to give me more freedom and give me something that's almost like a cushion, like a safety net, something I can look back on and say, wow, I did that really well. Love it. So 2 and 6, Venus being at 26 degrees is 8, that's power, that's strength in the tarot, and that's usually depicted with this big lion, and that is also fiery, masculine. So as you can see, all of these things kind of slot into place to give you a similar energy. Masculine, driven, powerful, fiery, self-contained kind of energy. And Venus in Aries is super decisive. She says, okay, what do I love? I love that one. Let me go and get it. It's really not, maybe I should wait and see how this relationship works out, and then I'll know myself better. Or maybe I should just be in this job and wait for other people to kind of promote me and see where I'm good. It's not about that. It's about taking control of the situation and saying, this fires me up, and therefore I'm going to pursue it and bring more of it into my life. So if you're someone who struggles to kind of assert yourself, or you don't often feel very empowered, or you feel that you have this huge obligation hanging over you and that you can't do what you want, you have no freedom, this is going to blow all of that out of the water, and it hands you your power on a silver platter. Here you go, do as you please, and have fun while you're doing it. So with Venus being on this new moon, it also creates the opportunity for new relationships and love and passion, and really meeting someone or something in your life that is crystal clear and that causes such an intense emotional response in you that there's absolutely no doubt in your mind, and it's like, I love this. Love at first sight. And I'm going to pursue it and make it happen for myself. Then on the other side of the new moon, we have Ceres, which I interpret as this cornucopia of wealth and abundance that's always there and accessible via the universe, and when you tap into it, you can really achieve great things. So that in itself, that we have a new moon, which is this lovely kind of process of recharging your battery and strengthening yourself, and also planting new seeds of intention and saying, where do I want to go in future? We've got Venus on one side, so all love, all beauty, and then on the other side, we've got this endless abundance just washing in and enriching you and saying, yes, you can, there's more than enough, you don't have to compete, it's all yours already. And if you feel that way starting out with anything, you've pretty much won. Because if you go into a situation with love and a sense of abundance, and this is great, then you're really likely to create circumstances which reflect that. If you start something with a sense of doubt and fear, then it's likely that that energy is woven into the fabric of whatever you're doing. Ceres is at 19 degrees in Aries, and again, that works very well with these other numbers. 1 and 9 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and guess what? It's the leader, it's the boss, it's the pioneer. In the tarot, the number 1, the first card of the major arcana, is the Magician. And the Magician is all about that. He has one wand up to the sky and he says, guide me, what should I be doing? And then he has all the elements in front of him, and they say you can do whatever you like, and you have all the power in the universe residing within you. So I don't think that you have to go on some sort of vision quest to figure out what it is you want and what you're supposed to be doing. I think that is right here. And it says, I care about this. And that's enough on this day to say, I care about it, so I'm going to pursue it. Because with Ceres and Venus on either side of the new moon, you're really likely to have a loving, abundant, positive, and enriching outcome. So not bad as far as energies go. Then we have Mercury at 14 degrees in Aries. That's still conjunct to the new moon. It is 8 degrees away, another 8, which is about power, strength. Oh, and by the way, Ceres is 3 degrees away from the new moon. So that's about communication, new beginnings, very much aligned. Mercury at 14 degrees, 1 and 4 is 5, and that's freedom. In Aries is about if I communicate with myself, basically, and I ask myself what I want, and I keep it simple, and I pursue that, I'm able to create more freedom in my life, and I'm able to broaden things out and make my life feel richer, and like I have a lot more options than I did before. Chiron is next to Mercury, and technically that doesn't conjunct the new moon, because conjunctions are 10 degrees planets and asteroids and other heavenly bodies within 10 degrees of one another. Okay, so Chiron here is at 9 degrees, so what, that's 11, 13 degrees away from the new moon. I'm still going to count it because it connects with Mercury and Ceres. It kind of meshes its energy with those two, and they're connected to the new moon, so indirectly they're connected. Chiron's the wounded healer. At 9 degrees, it's about completion of a cycle. And in Aries, it says, if you set a goal, that in itself is healing. Because no one else is going to set it for you today, nor is it appropriate for other people to set your goals and to tell you what you ought to be focusing on. And just by being able to do that for yourself, that is evidence that you are healed. Because someone who's completely in pieces and unable to operate, you're not able to feel the passion or the motivation. You're not able to do things on your own. You need help when you're down sometimes. And this isn't about that. This is about saying you're fine exactly where you are, whether you are struggling with mental health issues or addiction or relationship problems or anything that you feel that minimizes you. You're able to use Aries, Chiron in Aries rather, and to say, by setting goals, I'm doing something positive for myself. So that is going to build you up because you're investing in yourself. And 2, by setting new goals and by starting something fresh and starting a new chapter, I am telling myself that I can do it. And by then doing it, you provide evidence, and it's like little stepping stones of building on yourself and getting good outcomes. So those conjunctions and those planets all sitting together is really like a feast of the gods. I mean, Venus is there having a great time. Ceres is there saying have more wine and food. Mercury is saying communicate, think what you feel is right, and that's going to cause you freedom. And then Chiron on the edges is saying please do that because it's going to make you feel good and it's going to heal you and it's going to complete things in your life that are painful, and they're going to allow you to move on, setting these new goals. You're going to put the past behind you, face forward very firmly towards the future, and that's how you can move on and start a new cycle. So the new moon then forms certain aspect patterns with other planets in the chart. First of all, we have a semi-square with the North Node at 13 degrees in Gemini. The North Node is what you're striving towards. In Vedic astrology, it's described as the 2 parts of the dragon. So the North Node is the head of the dragon. It's Rahu and Ketu, I think. Sorry about the pronunciation. And the South Node is the tail of the dragon. So where am I going to and where have I come from? The head of the dragon here is at 13 degrees in Gemini. So I need to look at other opportunities in my life that are going to create more stability and that are going to enrich my experience. I can find those opportunities by communicating with myself first and foremost, with other people, keeping my eyes and ears open to see what other people have to share, and then also being aware of my circumstances and seeing where the opportunities lie. So it doesn't mean you become hyper-vigilant and really frazzled. It just means that you have a natural connection or a natural appreciation for opportunities, and you can kind of pick them out and say, that will work, I like this, it motivates me, let me play the tape forward, okay, good outcomes possible, likely, let me pursue it. So that's really positive because the North Node talks about where you're going on a karmic level. And with it being at 13 degrees, we're not walking towards something that's disastrous or uncertain, 13 degrees is 4, it's structure, it's the Emperor. So by looking at these opportunities and finding new ways forward, you're moving towards something that is going to stabilize your experience and make you feel like, oh, I'm home. So you find your home, you create a new home for yourself. The next aspect that we've got is the new moon sextiling Mars at 23 degrees in Gemini. Wow. A sextile is a harmonious connection. So Mars, the masculine planet, the red planet of Aries in mythology, was the god of war. And it's really about willfulness and saying, do you know what? We're going to invade this place because we feel entitled to the lands, or we're going to protect our country because we really value what we stand for. It's really just being able to stand your ground and saying, we're not going to bend or compromise regardless of what you throw at us. And if you declare war, we're going to fight straight back. So it's a really, excuse me, strong, unapologetic energy. And it's at 23 degrees in Gemini, and that will give you a really clear connection to what you want. Not that you need it, because you've already got it by these other planets, but you are it. You're where it's at, okay? So you're really feeling yourself. You're going to be super, super confident. 2 and 3 again is 5, and that's freedom in numerology. And Gemini is that little doorway. If you look at the glyph of Gemini, it's a Roman numeral 2. So that in itself, connection with yourself. But it creates this doorway. It's like 2 pillars in the tarot cards. You're sitting between good and evil, and there's a way forward that is beyond good and evil, literally. And it gives you the confidence to speak your truth, to look at opportunities, to pursue them, because it does take confidence and strength to pursue something. Like, for instance, if you're at a social gathering and you see someone who absolutely interests you and fascinates you, but you've got no connection, going up to that person and saying, hello, my name is, that takes a lot of confidence, because you could be rejected, they could turn their back on you. It may not go the way you want it to go, but here, those risks are something that actually excite you, and you're not going to let something risky put you off just because the outcome isn't guaranteed. You're not playing it safe, basically. So using that strength and that confidence to move ahead does give you freedom in your life. It opens things up to make them bigger, same as these other planets have said, particularly Mercury at 14 degrees in Aries. So it's really important that you speak up for yourself, that you stand in your truth, that you don't let yourself be bulldozed by other people's ideas and opinions, and that you pursue ultimately and very simply those things that motivate you and that bring you joy. Then we've got other connections. So on the other side of the chart now, we've got another sextile, and the new moon in Aries sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius at 25 degrees. Jupiter is the lucky planet. In Aquarius, it's about communication, it's about humanity, being of service. It's like the number 11 in numerology. It's the master number of service. 2 and 5 is 7, that's the mind and creativity. Excuse me. And with the lucky planet kind of inflating your ideas and your perception on things, it broadens your horizons. It allows you to think about your circumstances creatively, to spot the opportunities and to say, hey, I can make something of this. I can do something about it. I can move ahead. And it's my understanding. It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because I like this. That is more than enough. That is all the approval I need for me to move ahead. So that again just puts you in this lovely place of not requiring anything from anybody or anything. If you feel it, if you want it, that's more than enough for you, and it keeps the day very simple and keeps things moving forward. Now, Jupiter forms a trine with Mars in Gemini 23 degrees. So we've got a trine, that's 2 planets which are 120 degrees away from another. Then we've got the sextiles, 2 planets 60 degrees away from each other, and they all connect to form this little triangle. Do you see that? Now in astrology, we talk about grand trines and kites and mystic rectangles and stuff. These triangles aren't really spoken about because they're seen as very harmonious, but I would call it a triangle of harmony, okay? Because it puts these 3 things together in a way that fundamentally puts each one at ease, and they're able to build with one another. So we've got the new moon, we've got Mars and Jupiter. Your will and your confidence lead to good luck. So make sure you use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. Then we've got other aspects. We've got a sesqui square, so the new moon is 135 degrees away from the tail of the dragon, the south node at 13 degrees in Sagittarius. And that means that you've had certain experiences in the past which have got you to the position you're in, and you're able to close those off and to say, that's great, that's what I've done, that's my list completed, that's all very well, but I'm not interested in the past, I'm interested in the future, let's look at that. So it's really this sense of, I can breathe, I can put the past behind me, and I can move on and go on new adventures. It's really empowering as well. Then we have a square between the new moon in Aries and the rising in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn and the part of fortune in Capricorn. They're all sitting on the ascendant. The rising sign in Capricorn is the same as the ascendant in Capricorn. The rising sign in your natal chart is your default setting. It's what you naturally do when you're in a tough spot. If you're in a crisis, that's how you react. And this rising in Capricorn is at 27 degrees. So you're able to work in a practical way to complete a cycle, to put something to rest. So you don't need to kind of flog something beyond, its usefulness. You're able to say, okay, I've done enough with that. I'm over it. It kind of gives you that natural sense of completion. I don't need to get involved with this anymore. I've done all I can. That's it. And I'm looking to move on. So that allows you to put the past behind you and to look to the future and to work practically to get what it is you want. So that really helps you. Think of Capricorn as the mountain goat. It takes a lot of risks to get to the top, and it's not scared, and it doesn't let those risks put it off. So that gives you even more confidence. So I'm just thinking, what's the downside of this much fire and drive? Obviously, if someone puts huge obstacles in your way, or if someone tries to completely disempower you, you're not going to tolerate that at all. So if you're at war with someone, make sure that you don't go overboard and that you don't annihilate someone else because you feel that you've been slighted or wronged, or someone is trying to keep you from your happiness. You may be somewhat prickly, and you may say, this is unacceptable, and therefore I'm entitled to put that person in their place. Whether you are or you aren't is irrelevant. It distracts you from your purpose, which is to set goals which make you happy and to pursue them. So don't bother with other people who are trying to put you down. It's a waste of your time. Pluto, 26 degrees in Capricorn, is real transformation of your circumstances as a result of this. You can really change your life and your roots and your structure for good. 2 and 6 is 8. That's power. Pluto is life and death, so this is important. It's total transformation. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. And in Capricorn, it means that you can build something completely new. The part of fortune is an Arabic part. I include that in my readings. It's at 27 degrees in Capricorn, just underneath the rising sign. And again, it's this completion of past work which hasn't served you and which has been dull and boring and which is now done. And new work or new circumstances that you're working on to create your own happiness. And if you take on this quest, this task, the part of fortune does what it says. It provides you with good luck and good outcomes, and therefore it's a good idea to use this opportunity and to pursue it. All right, let's see what else we've got. We have got okay, sextile, trine, square, sesqui square. Ceres and Mercury, sesqui square the north node in Sagittarius at 0 degrees. So a new adventure. Whenever something is at 0 degrees in the chart, you get the quintessential nature of that energy. And Sagittarius is the adventurer. It's the centaur, right? So it's half man, half horse, and he's always on the move. He's got his bow and arrow, he's pointing it at something. So it's super, super essential that you ask yourself, what does motivate me for the future, and how can I bring more of it into my life? Because it's all opened up for you. A path has been laid out for you to gallop down, so please do. And that, I think, is it. Let me just check if I've missed anything. Uranus is near to Venus. It's 13 degrees away, 4 and 9. 13, 4. Uranus is about chaos and the miraculous. So technically it's not conjunct or involved with the new moon, but it's nearby, and Uranus really blows things up which have been in place for a long time. Think of it as the tower in the tarot. 9 degrees completion, Taurus. Let's blow up things that are already there and replace them with things that please you and that are better. Black Moon Lilith is at 19 degrees in Taurus, and that says, hey, don't do anything fun. Don't do anything for yourself. Instead, focus on your money and just tolerate everything. So Black Moon Lilith is trying to hold you back by making you short-sighted and saying your feelings don't matter. So don't listen to Black Moon Lilith on this day, and be aware that the voice of Black Moon Lilith may appear now and then and say, hey, actually, are you entitled to have a good time and to plan your future? Or should you be worrying about your bills today? Don't worry about your bills. I mean, obviously, you know, if it's the final outstanding notice, do something about it. But make the majority of the day about what could be and what's going to happen in future. Because if there are outstanding things or worries, those are from past things. And remember, you're able to really close off those cycles and to complete them so that you have space to move ahead. So deal with problems and things which are challenging in a way that addresses them directly and seeks to complete them easily and quickly so that you have free time to pursue other things. Don't make the whole day about balancing the books or focusing on the details or worrying or trying to control. That's not going to serve you. Neptune's at 21 degrees in Pisces. I'm just telling you what the other planets are doing now because they're not really conjunct or aspecting this new moon, but they're present in the charts, and I just want to see what everything's saying. Neptune's the water planet of dreams and intuition. It's in the sign that it rules Pisces. At 21 degrees, you're able to communicate with yourself very easily. Pallas Athena, the warrior goddess, the female equivalent to Mars, is at 11 degrees in Pisces. Oh, and she might say, do you know what? Well, no, she says you can be of service to yourself by really honoring what motivates you. So again, that wipes away any self-doubt or fear. Saturn at 12 degrees in Aquarius says communicate if you want security and structure and predictability. So it's a good thing to pursue what it is you want. So yikes, when Saturn is on your side, you really know that things are going your way, because Saturn sometimes comes along and challenges you and says, hang on a minute, are you doing what you're supposed to? On this day it's saying talk, look to the future, new beginnings, go, go, go. And that's fab, because when Saturn is on your side, you have no better friend than Saturn, because he really paves the way for you to kind of skip along. The yellow brick road, baby, you're on it, okay? It's really happy times. And that is it. What you'll notice as well is that most of the energy going on in this chart is in houses 1, 2, and 3. So in the first quadrant of this chart. And that really has to do with yourself. Don't get too hung up on that, because I'm looking at this chart from the perspective of Glastonbury in the UK. If we're looking at it differently, the placements will be other. But I feel that that's appropriate, again, because of all this cardinal energy, or the fire, or the Aries, or the freedom, saying it's really about you. So you don't have to, but it would benefit you to make yourself the top priority on this day, because that's where all the good energy lies, and you might as well use it. And that's it. So I hope this gives you an idea of what the new moon in Aries is about. It's really an opportunity to start something huge, something super, super meaningful, that is like building your own empire, that really takes you into account, and to say, this is your vision. This is a day to start your autobiography. This is a day to start a new relationship, to get a new car, to move, to do whatever it is that excites and motivates you, really. And it's a great little vacuum to exist in, because the usual fears and worries are way over there, whereas usually they can be right here. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please do get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. What I do in my personal readings, I draw up a chart exactly like this. What I do, instead of taking the 12th of April, the details of this new moon, I take your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. And then I get a chart that is a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and I can really analyze that and see what you're about and where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, what to avoid, what to build on, what's destined for you in a certain way. although astrology, especially Western astrology, doesn't say that your destiny is stamped on your forehead and you just have to go through the motions and everything's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. No, it says you can create your own life. Yes, there are certain things which you don't have control over, which have been given to you. But the astrology rests in the middle of that and says, use what you've got, manifest and build on the things that you want to create. You do have a choice. Not everything is set in stone. And use the assets of your chart to create the best life you can possibly live and mitigate and minimize the negatives. So it also mentions money, personal development, communication, family, love, work, colleagues, institutions, education, work, spirituality, friendship, social life, hopes and dreams. If you have any questions about any of those things, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. GregoryScott.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share it online. That'd be awesome to help the channel grow. So please do that if you haven't already. Thank you in advance. And subscribe to the channel as well. There are really wonderful people on this channel who support each other and share ideas. I do daily tarot readings, weekly horoscopes, and these videos on the new moon and the full moon twice a month. And you know, if you have questions about tarot or anything like that, there are very knowledgeable people in the comment section who will help you. So also, guys, if there is someone there and you feel like you have the answer, feel free to share that and to start a discussion. Have a wonderful time during this new moon in Aries, and I'll speak to you for the dailies, the weeklies, and the full moon coming up at the end of April. Have a wonderful time, and I'll speak to you soon.